Hello everyone, my name's Chris Phelps and welcome to my Florida All State Etude series. Today we're going to be working on the 9th and 10th grade lyrical exercise. It's out of the Advanced Method Rubank Volume 2. It's on page 74 and it's number 2A. Remember, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the subscribe button at the top of your screen, hit the like button underneath the video, and leave any comments or questions in the comments section. Thanks, and let's get started. Now that we've listened to the etude, I'm going to discuss the 3 things that I believe are most challenging for you or your student. The first one being is how to achieve that smoothness that is expected of a lyrical etude. The second one is how to get contrasting styles between different sections within this etude specifically. The third most challenging thing would be how to achieve those sweeping crescendos that happen really fast and go between a large range on the instrument. So in order to practice getting a passage to be as smooth as possible, we are always going to start with the mouthpiece. So we're going to take our mouthpiece out. We're going to hold it with 2 fingers like this so we don't add any extra pressure, and we're going to buzz. We're not just going to buzz the notes though. We want to buzz them super smoothly so that we hit all the notes in between. And what I mean by that is it's going to sound like this. I'm going to get my first pitch. Notice how I don't hit each individual note, I glide past each note. In our mouth, the way we achieve that gliding sensation is we have our tongue. We want our tongue to do all the work. So we're going to think E for higher notes and O for lower notes. And we're going to be going O-E, O-E, O-E while pushing air. And I'm doing this with my hand because that's exactly what your tongue does. If you say O, our tongue's going to be super low, which allows air to pass through at a slower rate. If we raise our tongue, there's a smaller space between the top of our tongue and the top of our mouth, which means air is going to rush through faster. That's how we get higher notes out. O-E, O-E, O. I'm going to play the first 4 measures, and then I'm going to buzz it. And now I'm going to buzz that much, whole time trying to hit every pitch in between. I'm gonna do that one more time. I want you to think about getting a super airy buzz. We don't want it to be buzzy. We want more air in the sound. We want it to be this. Instead of this. And now I'm going to buzz the whole thing one more time. And that's going to give us that super smooth quality that we want of a lyrical excerpt. Once we've done that, I'm going to add it onto the horn. I'm going to slur the whole thing. And once I can do that, now I'm going to add the tongue. The tongue is the most difficult part about this because it's evil. It wants to take over. It wants to interrupt the air. We want it to be the least important thing. Add the tiniest, tiniest, tiniest bit of tongue you possibly can, tonguing right on the back of the teeth. The second most challenging part of this etude is how to differentiate between different styles. And the way we discover those styles is based on the words. If you look at the end of the first line, you see dreamily. If you look halfway through the second line, you see poco piamoso, and it returns to the same stuff that happened at the beginning. And then at tempo 1, in the third line, it returns to the same stuff that happens at the end of the first, where it says dreamily. So we want to break the etude out into sections. I would even take a pencil and I would mark out those sections. But let's go ahead and look at just the first two sections. The very beginning, it says nothing. And what I want to bring your attention to is that this piece is a song. And that is going to help you a lot when figuring out what style you want to play in. I want us to listen to the first line of this piece, but it's going to be the vocal version. And you're going to hear very easily the difference in style from the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 measures and the difference in style between the dreamily section. This song is accompanied by piano. And in the very beginning, the piano is lower on the instrument, which means we need a more dark, deep sound. So the way we're going to achieve that is I actually want you to cross out that piano and play it more of a mezzo piano. That way, when we play the pianissimo layer in a different style, it's going to be more of a contrast. So we're going to play the beginning mezzo piano, and we're going to think super open, hot air. So once we get that super dark sound in the beginning at a mezzo piano, then we can work on the dreamily section, which is in the last measure of the first line. So as you can hear, when it says dreamily, the piano is playing a lot higher. In the beginning, they're playing lower, deep, dark, low sound. When we hit dreamily, they're playing super high notes. So we want to try to mimic that on the horn. And the way we're going to do that is play it a lot softer, which is why we're playing mezzo piano at the beginning, so we can play super pianissimo at this part. And we want to get a super airy buzz. So I'm going to practice that with you right now. I'm going to play that measure just so I can hear the notes. And now we're going to buzz it. And I want you to have a little more focused air if we could compare it to blowing through a straw. In the beginning, we're blowing through a thicker straw. When we get to the dreamily section, we want to be blowing through a very tiny coffee stirrer sized straw. That's going to give us a lighter sound. And I want you to remember, get that super airy buzz. We don't want this. We want this. A lot airier sound. So we're going to try that, and we're going to buzz it. Da, 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 dum. And we're going to try to get that super airy coffee stirrer size air. Now that we can do that, we're going to put it on the horn, and we're going to do the same exact thing we did in the beginning. We're going to slur it all first, and then we're going to add the tongue. Once you've achieved that contrast in sound, you can apply those first 7 or 8 measures to the whole piece. So if you look in the second line, poco piamoso, that's the same stuff as the beginning. And in the vocal version, that the piano is playing a lot lower there. So we want that deeper sound. And then when we get to tempo 1, then you can play the lighter sound. And I want you to experiment with doing those 2 different things. With the beginning deeper sound, we want largest straw, and we want hot air. With the dreamily section, we want coffee stirrer size air, but still an airy buzz. The last part of this etude that I believe would be most challenging is achieving sweeping crescendos that last for a very short amount of time. So how we're going to practice this is actually taking it out of context of the etude itself. We're going to play one single note at a pianissimo dynamic, and then all of a sudden we're going to play forte and come back to pianissimo, like so. This is on a C in the middle of the staff. And you don't want to just do one of those, you want to do multiple. So do it over and over again. And then you want to do it on multiple notes. So you practice different registers. And once you have that, where we can get from a very soft dynamic to a loud dynamic with a good tone, then we want to add in different notes. But before we actually put it on the horn, I want to just think about our air and what it has to do. So let's take the second measure as an example. The third beat, we're on an F sharp, and we have to go to a high E flat. What does your air have to do on the F sharp? It has to play a lower note. So we're going to think our tongue is flatter. It's going to be O. You're going to be thinking O. You're going to be blowing through a large straw. And then on the E, it's going to be higher, E. It's going to be in this position where there's less space between the roof of our mouth and the tongue, so air goes fast through it. And now we want to push the air in between those. And then we want to think about dynamics. Less, quieter air. Louder, faster air. And then we want to do that on the instrument. And that's how we're going to achieve those sweeping crescendos. And you can apply that all the way through the excerpt, thinking about low tongue, slower air, high tongue, faster air. And those are the 3 most challenging things about this etude. Remember, if you like this video, hit the subscribe button at the top, hit the like button at the bottom. I've got more All State Etudes coming your way, 7th grade through 12th grade, lyrical and technical. So ring that notification bell so you get notifications of when I put new videos online. Remember, questions in the comment section, and follow my Instagram, Chris Phelps Horn, for more tips and tricks. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.